Um, what do you guys think about mixed grip versus hook grip? Let's go with Mikey on this one first. Like, which one do you prefer?
Why
He's the
why you gotta
perfect
pick
guy,
me?
actually.
Why you gotta pick me for
He's
this?
the perfect guy, actually, to ask.
Um, no, I think hook. All right, if you're pulling sumo and if it's reliable, I think that's where it starts. If it's reliable, then I would probably lean towards hook, just in terms of being more efficient. Um, you're reducing range of motion by probably an inch. For me, at least, it reduces range of motion by probably an inch. And then a lot of times it will fix like helicopter stuff like that. But it all comes down to like, okay, is it reliable? Can you do it every time? Like, can you depend on it for a third pull to win a meet, basically? And then mix is kind of the other way. It's usually probably going to be more reliable and maybe has some slight disadvantages in terms of like mechanics, range of motion, stuff like that.
What do you got, Will?
So I would definitely go with the grip that you are most consistent with, that you can just repeat over and over and over again. Um, but if you're pulling hook and you're training, and every time it gets past a certain load and it starts tearing every time, or if it starts to like slip out of your hands or something like that, that I feel like that is a huge sign that you should just say fuck hook. I'm gonna just go mixed, even if it's weaker. Just build it up over time.
I'm good with that. Okay, when should you chill out on like really like thinking about your technique? I'm gonna let Will go first.
Uh, First indicator would be pain. I would say if you're doing your squats or deadlifts and you're like your feet are wobbly, you're losing balance, that's things that you need to address. If you're just yanking on a bar to deadlift instead of learning how to wedge,
Hmm.
all you got to be able to replicate a movement over and over and over again so you could train it up, especially if it's not, or you need to especially make it competition standard. Like we can't be trying to build the lift and it's like, oh, you hit depth half the time, or you're not really locking out all the way at the top. Like even if you have to lower the load, like it's just something that you have to fix, and you'll get back to where you were before. But yeah.
What do you think, Mikey? When is like focusing on your form going overboard, or is it even possible to go overboard?
Oh no, it's definitely possible. I think like Will said, one of the most important things is comp standard first, right? Like are your heels down, is your butt down? Once all that's in check, then we're trying to get like as efficient as we can. But I would say once it's like it's never gonna be perfect. So like I can't really give a percentage, maybe like 80 to 90% good. Then it's kind of like, all right, now me thinking about this is just slowing me down. You know what I mean? Like eventually we gotta just like kind of just like do the same thing over and over again, kind of shut our brains off and just live.
For me, I think you always gotta be somewhat aware of your form because like over time you might like some lifters like you don't say anything and then after like 6 months like wait your stance like slowly got more narrow somehow like and then I'll send him a picture of like a or like a video of a meet and like yo this was perfect your meet was your feet were perfect here like let's go back to that. So you want to be aware of it but it's like people like you are not gonna add 100 pounds to your squat if you fix your squat form. No small little change is gonna build you muscle. It's gonna make you more sustainable and give you an area to like train safely and fill out your frame because you're less injury prone and you have better form and you're gonna have more consistent lifts. But like a lot of people just think like, oh my god, dude, like I fixed my form and like I added like a million pounds to my bench. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I changed from flats to heels and I got like 30 pounds instantly. But it was like in a month. But it's not something that like more often than not like you just need to have good enough form for your frame. You're not hurt. You're able to perform the lift, safely and reliably when it counts, and then you just build it, and that's it. I actually, when I was like competing, I was like, I don't fucking want to hear anyone say shit about my form on anything because like I've never missed a bench in my career. When you could do that, then you could tell me something. You know what I mean? Like I was like 30 meets, no misses, I'm good. And because people get in your head, and my squat too, I was like people get in your head and they mess with you. You know what's crazy? I was almost like perfect squats, perfect bench. It was one meet. I was actually handled by someone else that meet, for the first time like ever. And well, Tina helps me, but that's different. It's like a little extension of me. And I was like, fuck, I just missed one squat. Could have had perfect, like just whites, greens on everything. Deadlift, we're not gonna talk about that. Because that third deadlift, I just miss it. Like, I just missed the third deadlift, like no, like every other meet. Um,
I
uh,
think I think for meats again, well, I mean, you were talking about meats, but I also think like in preps, you should probably like mess with it. Try not to mess with it at all,
mhm.
or like mess with it less. And then maybe like off season, like let's say there is something to address, but like 8 to 12 weeks out from a meet, like don't mess with it. You know what I mean? Just keep doing the same thing, just because it's consistent and you know you're gonna be able to repeat it on meet day. And then if there is something to address, then like in that time following, you kind of mess with it.
There you go. How do you guys help your lifters choose a fed? Let's go with Mikey since he finished that.
Um, if you're drug tested, then it's gonna be, I mean, USAPL or IPF. It just depends on what your goals are, right? If you're drug tested and you like want to win a world championship, then obviously there's only one way to do that. Now, if you're drug tested and you just want to compete, then I mean you could do that USPA, but USAPL is going to be better in terms of like competition, bigger meet,
Depth.
probably
Yeah.
better ran meets. So
What do you got, Will?
For me personally, I don't care where they compete, but if they start, a lot of the time it's like they'll start USPA, then they'll get stronger, and they'll be like, oh, I could switch to USAPL, and I'll actually be like top 20, top 10, or whatever. Um, so I don't really force it on anyone, but obviously I'm gonna recommend USAPL PA, drug tested, different standards, no 24-hour weigh-ins. But if they, I have no problem with people competing USPA, deadlift bar, and everything.
There you go. Let's go two more. Will, how did we meet? I don't fucking remember. I remember
Wait,
seeing you.
we never like shook hands or anything. We didn't ever actually meet. I don't think.
Like, oh hey, how's it going? I
Yeah.
remember you at 2014. 2014. Half you guys listening didn't even we weren't even alive. No, I mean you guys are like 8. There's literally kids that are gonna hear this that were 8. 2014. It was at that meet in I think it used to be called CrossFit Fast, and I think you had short hair.
Yeah. I had the Mikey dude back then.
Yes, he literally
with the
had the
buzz
same.
Uh,
cut,
He looked like a
yeah.
is that what
completely
it
different
is?
person.
Yeah.
Completely different person.
And I had a beard.
I don't know if I met you then. I think it was like I always knew of you. And then at Zoo, like for those guys that don't know, like he just like would ask me like questions about training, and we would like walk to Chipotle and stuff. And then I was like, "You've been around the sport for many years. I am exploding like with demand for lifters, and I'm all by myself. Like I was like, would you like be down to like work for me and help me out?" And then he was like, "Fuck yeah, brother, let's do it." And then that was it.
Well,
That's it.
I was gonna say USAPL is also very very small in California, so I feel like we just saw
Oh
each
yeah,
other at all the meets, and then
it's so
you know
weird. Like we're
ended up talking. Then I started going to zoo, and
nobody
yeah,
likes powerlifting here. Like most people, they just want to be shredded. I mean, our gym is like literally a perfect example of it. All right, last one for everybody. Um, I think this is a really good one, and the lifter that asked it. Shout out to you guys know what's his name? Forklift Billy,
Mm.
Will's taller version. He's
yep.
literally like a taller version of you. He asked, "What does it look like when a lifter gets it and then they start just like popping off and making a bunch of progress?" Mikey, go first. So just
I think for
describe
me,
yourself. Just
I
describe
think for
yourself.
me,
Yeah.
I mean for myself, I think mostly it's like okay, you got to kind of start understanding your body. Um, I mean, that sounds kind of corny when you say it like that, but you got to kind of understand, like, okay, when do I need to push and when do I need to pull back? That's kind of like the basis of it, right? Like, I come in and I got some juice and like stuff's feeling good, even if it's an RPE seven, like I'm gonna push all the way to that seven, and then like let's say I come in, I feel beat, same RPE seven, obviously the weight's gonna be way lighter. Some people get so stuck on uh like progressive overload, right? And they always want to go up. They're like, well, I did this last week. But like a lot of times that doesn't matter. There's too many variables for that. So it's just like, when do I need to push? When do I need to pull back? And let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Will, what do you think? Like, what does it look like in one of your lifters that like gets it? Like yeah, he knows what's up. He's gonna make progress.
I mean, first of all, they like never overshoot. Like they're perfect. They get the concepts right and they build their own momentum. They think not only like the first week of the block, but they'll think of like how that would affect their second, their third, their fourth, their timing away from a meet. Like they understand that if they burn themselves out right now, they're gonna be fucked like 6 weeks out, and then we're gonna have to like pull things back and stuff, possible injury and whatnot. But I mean, surprisingly, Eno was like very out of pocket when we first started out. And as soon as we fixed all that, especially his deadlift, it just blew the fuck up. Like he wasn't overly fatigued. He wasn't getting injured. Like all those things make a huge difference. That what I like to say is like, um, if you're feeling good, don't do something to make yourself not feel good, so that you can keep on going and progressing forward.
I'm gonna clip that. Um, for me, like when I think about Russ and I think about John Hack, I think about Mikey, I think about Keiko, I think about those type of people. Jesus. Jesus is actually really good at like, oh, I feel something weird in my tricep. I'm gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like he's very good at like not pushing it. Although, Mikey, you've been in the gym with him more. I mean, you won't be able to read his mind, but there have been times when like he feels strong and like I'm gonna fucking try 1,000 today. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
he does, but you do it like if it's there and you know you're gonna overshoot, and that's like, I mean, here's the thing, right? If somebody overshoots, if they get it and it's safe and it's like not hard, like I don't know if you like my heavy lifts are like I have a little bit more, I have like 5 more, maybe 10 more, pounds, not kilos, but I'll never miss a squat. I'll never ever ever miss a squat because I just know
That
I
shit's
just
scary.
I just don't do it. I just won't do it. Um, so everything that you guys said, knowing when to push, knowing when not to push, but with Russ and those guys, like really, it's like been a mindset shift. And let me give you guys an example. So with Dion, Dion was like decent. Like he was like all right. He was like top 15, top 20. Um, and he showed me little spurts of it when he was out here. But then when he moved over with Russ and he was around him like every day, and like he just saw how Russ was like when Russ locks in and how he's just like focused and like he'll see him take his jumps and like, oh no, I'm gonna stop here, or like, yeah, I could do another one, but I'll stop right there, or
My bad. That's on me.
but like but yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. But yeah, but that Russ will just like real he'll hold it or save it for me day, or he'll Russ is really good. What he's really good about is communication. He'll literally hit me up and be like, "Hey, so like with the injury, especially with the injury when we were dealing with that, every day I was like, how is it? Okay, this is what's looking like tomorrow, but we'll see. How is it today? All right, cool. This is what we're doing today. How is it? Da 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 da. And then we'll come up with this plan, and then you just come in sync. And Russ, I forget what he said, but he said something. Oh, he said, I know that this, like I didn't never did I teach him like an isolated lesson on this. He's just been working with me for many years. He said, "I know you need to be able to taper me from somewhere, right? You need to be able to taper me from somewhere. So I'm gonna try to give you some volume about 3 weeks out." And I was like, "This guy fucking gets it. Like this guy knows. Like you know, in that context where you're injured and you haven't been doing anything, I just need like at least one fatigue generating day or a little bit difficult of a day, and then from there I could start tapering you down and getting you, good to go for the meet. And he really does get it, and he's just an example of. And Dion did this, and like if you guys go look at his last meets, like his numbers like jumped, like when he just knew like. If for Dion, it was stop overthinking the technique and just fucking lift and don't overshoot. Like you can't like that was it. When he stopped thinking and he just handled business, everything started clicking and he really leveled up. So that's it could be a mindset change. It could be understanding the big picture. Like, with me, there are a lot of things or endeavors or things that I'll do where like when I was younger, like if you don't get the result you want like right now, you get frustrated. But when you're patient and you put in the time and you wait, it might take years, it might take 6 weeks, 6 months, it might take whatever, and you know that every step that you're taking every day. Okay, Mikey can relate to this, and Will can too. When I wanted to buy a house, I found out like with the bank dude, the bank dude or loan dude, I said like years before I actually did, I said, what do I have to do? And they told me a plan. And I said, okay, it's gonna take some time. I'm gonna have to really work on things and get my credit up and save money and do all these things and show you got to show proof of this and proof of that. But I did all those steps and it took me time to get in a position to do it. And it's like it's like something that you want and then you're doing it all these years and then you finally get in a position where you could do it. It's like if you want to squat 700 pounds and you squat 600 pounds, you have to be realistic. Okay, do I need to gain weight? How do I navigate my fatigue? What do I do when I'm faced with an injury? More often than not, living to fight another day is going to be better, and the value of like RPE 6 work is like fucking unreal. It's just unappreciated in my opinion. Like there's so many times, like I cannot describe like the amount of value from Russ's last prep because he like we would do a single and then there's everything else is light. We can't even do anything else. Like we would do a single and he'd be like, I can't even do nothing else. It hurts. You know what I mean? And we had that middle squat day. We had a squat day, like a main squat day, a middle squat day, and then a deadlift day. And on the middle squat day, it was like a pump. It was like I'm gonna do sissy squats and leg extensions. Like we couldn't even do anything. So, but he held it. He held on to it. We were able to like get a little pattern going where it would be like you know, squat like 660, then then he has a week, and then he would get some volume, and then squat like 683, and then a bad week, and then squat 700, and then a bad week, and then squat 710, and then a bad week, and then meet, and then luckily it all worked out. So you just got to be patient. Don't A lifter that gets it knows how to operate, and this goes for life. They know how to operate when things are not perfect. And I'll leave you guys with this. I said I had a lifter the other day, or it was like a couple weeks ago. He goes, "Oh, 500 pounds is usually at 7 for me." And I said, "Is it usually at 7 for you, or is it at 7 for you after a peak, after you fucking had good ass sleep, after we took 3 days off, and then you hit it at 7?" You see what I'm saying? You got to think of it like that. So this perception of it is usually this for me, or I'm shit. No, that's when you're comparing like to your best self to like how you're gonna be in training. When I'm pushing hard, I mean, if I take 675 for a single, it's whatever. It's like fine. 635 if I'm beat to fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then if I feel good, I go above that. It's like and me, like Mikey, Will, myself. We got to a point where like our numbers are gonna be in a range. They're gonna be like within here, right? Like it's up here because you're like you've been lifting a long time, but if Mikey knows like if I hit 675 and it moves well, I will probably be good for this much at a 9, right? And Will might like have a weight where like if Will's warming up and he squats like 540 and he goes, oh, that shit moved good today. Like I could hit, like I know I could hit this or that. You start to learn yourself, and like Mikey said, you got to know your body. And I think for Mikey especially, and Will, learning like what your limitations are in terms of like if you're having injuries, I feel like if Mikey couldn't get injured, right? I mean, most people would be like this, but Mikey more exaggerated. If you can't get injured, right? No injuries at all, and we just fucking went hard. I mean, you'd be strong as fuck right now. Like he'd be, But for Mikey, it's always been um, trying to move forward without like letting a nagging thing become an issue where we really need to chill. So, Anyway, I fucking went crazy on that last one. I was talking too much. My bad. I do that all the time. That's literally like what I do. But anyway, that's it, guys. I just wanted to bring Will and Mikey on here to drop some keys. You know what I'm saying? But like, you just get you guys to know Mikey and Will a little bit more. Um, I trust these guys like with literally everything. I would fucking, if I was in a position to at the moment, I would literally let either of them, even program for me. No, let's go hashtag fuck it, stay in the pocket. That's it. Stay in the
Yeah.
pocket in the comments down below. See you guys in the next one. Say bye, fellas.
All right.
Deuces.
Later.